This is the Rumah Penghulu Abu Seman. So Rumah Penghulu Abu Seman, if it's literally translated, it means the village headman's house. And Abu Seman is the name of the village headman. So as you have seen in the video just now, this house, you saw that it is relocated here, right? So actually this is not the original place of this house. And the origin of this house is actually in Kedah. It is a northern state in Peninsular Malaysia. And it was brought here to Kuala Lumpur in 1996. Okay, so last time during the olden days, people actually literally just moved the house itself by calling all the villagers to come and help, and then they will just lift the house to the nearby village. Usually this may happen when there's a flooding, or maybe sometimes the ground is no longer fertile for them to plant the crops or anything like that. That's why you see here, the houses are built on stilts. So it is very convenient to have the house to be built on stilts. It will be easy for them to move the house whenever they want. And of course, also in a tropical climate like this in Malaysia, actually the house is also from there you saw one portion, and here you can see the two portions of the house. And this is actually the most recent part that was completed around 1930s. So the other parts was started built around like 1910 to 1920s. So this is the most recent part that is also containing his office inside. So if it's compared to a typical Malay house, it is a bit different, because this house is actually a bit more fancy than the typical Malay house. As you can see over here, you can see the elaborate carvings. So this is not normal for a usually the normal Malay house lah, where actually the normal person in the village, they cannot really afford to have all these carvings and hire the craftsmen. In this case, clay tiles is of course more expensive, and also it is a bit more heavier. So because of that, they will also need more structures, and of course more structures will cost more money. So that's some of the differences lah. So in the carvings itself, there's also a few special features because maybe due to its original location, because the location, as you know, is in Kedah, and Kedah is bordering Siam or Thailand, and at that area there are also many Chinese. So there are some Chinese influences as well. For example, over here, this is the carving of a vase. This one is the vase which I told you just now. Actually, this is more related to the Chinese customs, in which the Chinese love to have the symbolic meanings, and as you know, it will be pronounced as the word ping, the vase, and it has the same homonym for the word peace. So that's why he has this carved on the walls of his house, and it may be that last time he had hired a Chinese craftsman to do the carvings, because at that particular place there were many Chinese as well. Or actually the Muslim belief, we cannot have any living or any symbolic motif that has any kind of worshipping elements. So that's why we will only resort to have only floral motifs and geometrical motif. It's the same when you go to, for example, the mosque. You will not see any living animals that is carved or crafted on any buildings or any possessions of the Muslims lah, because we are not allowed to replicate anything that is actually being done by the god lah. So that's why we don't do that in most of in any of our houses. Can you see that? There's these three panels over here.
These three panels.
These three panels. So this is also not normal for a Muslim family, because as I mentioned just now, the birds actually is a living animal, a living thing. So in this case, he tried to make it in two-dimensional rather than three-dimensional, so that it is not so prominent. So that is how he justified it. But nevertheless, he also has one symbol that is clearly related to the Islam or a Muslim, which is this symbol of the crescent and the star. So over here, this is actually the oriented towards the west. So when we found the house in its original location, this part of the house is facing west, which is in the Muslim belief, west is in Malaysia, west is oriented towards the Mecca, where we pray to. So this is also inside the house, the symbol of the crescent and the star. Okay. Over here, this is the entrance of the house, and you can see the lattice work over here. This is the arch is quite low. It is one of the reasons is that because when we want to enter the house, we will automatically do this bow. So that's why they have designed it like this. So apart from that, it is also filtering the sunscreen from coming inside the house. So that's another function for this kind of lattice work. Over here you can see the jar, water jar. This is actually the water jar usually will be collecting the rainwater, and then there will be the Malays usually will take the water and then wash their feet before they go inside the house. So usually they will take off their shoes here. The difference is only that it is visited by many more people than the normal houses usually have guests. So that's why over here, instead of having just normal guests, they will also sometimes have meetings, and sometimes when he's working inside his office, this can also turn into a waiting area for the guests, waiting for their turn to see him. Okay. This office has been remodeled to have a 1950s kind of look, because actually when we found the house, there wasn't any furniture to come with it. So these are the furnitures that actually brought in by other Badan Warisan members, our members lah. So actually we don't have anything from the direct owners apart from the photos and the posters on these four walls. So these are actually donated by the descendants of this original house lah. So in some of the posters, you may see that the posters are written in this kind of writing. So this is the Jawi writing. So before we use the Roman writing very widely, we actually use the Jawi writing. This is actually a writing that is adapted from the Arabic transcript, and we have added another 6 letters to this writing so that it fits to our pronunciation. So that's why I think maybe the transition between this writing to the normal writing is quite fast, because the way to read it is the same. So over here, for example, this is the poster of our first cabinet ministers. An additional entry or exit for the penghulu or the village headman, and usually normal Malay houses will have maybe three or more exit or entrances. In this case, this is a bit more special because this is of course personally linked to his office, in which he can use it quite conveniently when he doesn't want to interrupt, maybe when there's a meeting outside, so he can just go out from this area, from this exit, and go straight away into the dining area through that entrance.